city won't give me title to this. I want to tear it down. I would pay for it and then tear it down. But they can't clear the title. They want to resell this. It's got black mold, no wiring, leaking roof. Everybody in the neighborhood knows it. Nobody knows why. This is still fucking here. You are ugly people. Land bank people, demolition people, the mayor's office. You're dirt. How could you? Want to see some needles?
Live from downtown Detroit, it's No BS News Hour with my main man,
Nah. The bullshit!
Just breaking this. Double or bullshit.
Hi there. Now listen up. Hall Financial, the lender that saved Michigan residents millions, is proud to announce Michigan's first no-fee home loan that's exclusive to Hall Financial clients. The no-fee loan applies to both new purchases and refinances. The no-fee loan, you'll stay locked into the program, ensuring, now dig this, that you don't pay fees to Hall Financial when it's time to refinance. If you aren't working with the Hall Financial on your home loan, you're overpaying. The no-fee loan applies to both new purchases and refinance. Consolidate your debt. If interest rates go up, you got a low one. If they go down, you get to refi, and there's no extra fees from Hall. Call them at 866-CALL-HALL or chat online with them. It's a 5-star chat, by the way. Call hallfirst.com/Charlie or Drew or Charlie. Just call them. I'm not going for that bullshit. I'm not going for that bullshit where you're measuring like how many people. You either advertise or you don't.
I kind of like that.
You're not going for this new shit.
I'm exhausted by everything being measured. And I mean everything.
We need something where you can get a deal.
Well, that's right there.
No, I want no deal.
Call hallfirst.com. Listen, when's the last time you checked your home and auto? When?
Well, I have Legacy do it for me.
That's right. Have they called you lately?
They did, actually. Yeah, back in the spring.
You know, they called me a couple weeks ago to say, let's get dinner. I'm bringing them so much business. I don't have a slash,
Why don't we
Charlie.
go to dinner?
That's what I mean.
Because I work harder at this. Did you switch over?
No.
Okay, well, you switch over, maybe you'll get a burger. All you got to do, Karen, is call 586.
I've talked to them, though.
209-4106 / talk to Karen. Which Rich Chris Cuomo will be doing. Stay tuned because Karen is basically the guy's psychotherapist now. All right, listen. Save money on your insurance. It costs you nothing. They do the shopping for you. They stay in touch with you. They have your cell phone. I'm sorry, Maui, for the people in Maui. I really am. And good luck trying to find your insurance agent. Yep. I know I'll be able to.
They were very professional, though. I have to give them that.
586-209-4106. And when you save that money, remember who you talk to about investing it wisely.
This message of Uplift is brought to you by business and personal wealth advisor Luke Nowacki, who reminds you that what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but never enter the kingdom of God? But while you're waiting, Nowacki wants you to remember that overreaction is not a sound financial strategy. So call Luke Nowacki at 248-663-4748 for sound financial advice.
Okay. So Karen, I'm sorry to say, I know we live in Detroit, Michigan, USA, and some people here are listening, but it's a fucking cow town. Nobody's breeding, right? We get the lowest birth rate since 1940. Everybody's moving away, and there's nobody to talk to about what's really going on, nonpartisan wise. Like, so I called my good friend Chris Cuomo. There he is, Chris Cuomo, News Nation, 8 o'clock. You find it like at channel 232.
I think it's 92 or 95. It's still on the end.
Why isn't it in with all the rest of the news stations?
They don't want them. They don't want people to listen.
No, they don't want to pay. Anyway, so he's frowning.
What a stupid explanation.
Wait a minute. What's that?
They're trying to hide the truth.
I was just wait. What was that cartoon going around where like the person doesn't exist?
Oh yeah, yeah, with the girlfriend or whatever.
Wait, what is
Yeah,
that?
I can't remember, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know the meme. That's Chris right now because no one's next to him.
Yes, it's Chris just gets.
There it is. He's got his arm out. Yeah.
Well, it's my good friend Chris. What's up, Chris? How you doing, man? You getting back from the gym there? What's going on?
No, I'm volunteering to help some local guys with a fishing tournament.
That's called they Bayman. You're in Long Island, aren't you?
Yeah, it's an offshore tournament, but it's all good. Happy to talk to you, Charlie. Dispel some of this nonsense. News Nation isn't with the rest of the pack because it's a new channel, and you got to negotiate your position.
Right.
So you do it through contracts and negotiation. It's certainly not because we don't want people to listen to what we're saying.
Oh no, not you.
Yeah, not you, dude.
I wasn't talking about you. I was saying that
You're
people,
like double the biggest thing on there.
that was a compliment, Chris.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying that you didn't want anybody to listen. I'm saying people like to keep valuable information and informants away from the mainstream. So no, that wasn't it. I wasn't saying you don't want anybody to listen. That would be stupid, and we're not stupid.
Now, Nexstar got to like get it together because if you're looking at the cable landscape, it is shit.
Yeah, they have everything bunched up, and I mean, he's given us the business side of it, but certainly there's certain things that they don't want readily available for folks.
Now,
So.
Chris,
who is that? Who is the they that is conspiring to keep information from people?
Well, that's a whole nother show, I would actually believe, Chris.
That's deep state. We'll talk about that later, bro. But here's the thing, man. Here's what I know you as is the most interesting and balanced voice on cable news and opinion. So let's do Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Let's start with Donald Trump. It's hard for me to care when I can't keep count. Now we've got the fourth one. It's in Fulton County, right? It's novel. It's a RICO. It's a racketeer influence and corrupt organization charge. That's a mob charge. That's a group. That's a conspiracy of criminals that you're a lawyer. I'm not, Chris. That I take. It's a conspiracy over time. Nothing. Is this too much? I mean, I'm looking at, let's see, tax record case in New York, classified documents in Mar-a-Lago, the January 6th conspiracy in Washington, D.C. What do you make of this latest one?
This is the most troubling set of allegations. RICO certainly is something that gets the media's attention because, as you said, it's the 1970 law out of Nixon to go after the mob. They go after organizations, corporations as well, but it's about establishing that this group had a pattern of behavior. They're not easy cases to make, but he's playing a different game here than Law and Order. He's playing the disruption game and the victim game, and it works for about a third to a half of his party and to about a third of the country. The interesting thing to me about the polls, he's going to lose because of independent voters. And they'll be like, this is too much. This is going to be a distraction to his term, if nothing else. He barely could get away from it last time, and there was a pandemic. But when you look at the most recent polling, there are just as many people, like 2 out of 3 Americans don't want Trump to be president. The same or more don't want Biden to be president. And that's not a false equivalency. That's we're in a fucked up place in terms of this two-party system delivering us kind of like the lowest rung of who's worse analysis. And we got to get away from the parties. We got to get to open primaries. We got to get to ranked choice voting if we want to get more reasonable people in there that don't have to play to the fringe of these two parties.
I just think the parties are corrupt, and that's why we get the worst common denominator. That's the shit that floats to the top here, right?
Yeah, and
it doesn't have to be corruption as much as it's just the game, the rules of a binary zero-sum game. Is that the easiest way for Charlie to beat Chris is to prove that Chris sucks. Not that Charlie has better ideas, not that Charlie is better. Better is hard. It's just to show that Chris is bad, does bad things, thinks bad things, is scary, is dangerous, can hurt you. That's how you win. And that's all they're trying to do. It's like the old joke, you know, two guys get chased by a bear. One guy says, we'll never outrun the bear. The other guy says, I don't have to. We just have to outrun you. And that's what we've allowed our politics to become. And it's just a reductive battle to the bottom. And I hate it.
And look, I used to cover Long Island, Queens, the mob. I got to believe, you know, I'm thinking about Ozone Park, the Hunt and Fish Club, Gotti, the Gambinos. They got to be laughing because in this RICO case down in Atlanta, Rudy Giuliani has been, you know, tagged in with the RICO charges, and he's the one that used the RICO charges to take out the Gambinos, et cetera, et cetera. What are you hearing? They mocking him? They gotta be.
Nah, but look, there are a lot of people who see Giuliani in a very stark then and now portrait. He is not the guy I grew up with. He says things that the Rudy Giuliani of the 80s would have never said, would have never thought, never stood for. And it's sad on a level. I don't know that the charges can be sustained, but I know they did a lot of stuff that was wrong. Whether or not, you know, we're in this new standard in this, again, this zero-sum political party game of felony or fine. If you can't get me on a major felony, then anything I did was fine. And that's just ridiculous.
But my question is, like, all of this has to go to state of mind. Like, Trump, you know, it's the federal case, you know, January 6th. It's this case. He lied. He knew the election was lost, and therefore he engaged in a conspiracy. But what if the guy really believed it was stolen? I mean, how? And it's 19 people. You really think? First of all, there's the first question. The second question is a RICO case, and the Fulton County prosecutor wants to bring 19 people in a courtroom together, and half of them are lawyers. So what are the odds here?
The odds are that some of them turn, first of all. Second, Charlie, if you believe with all your heart and soul that you deserve a Rolex, does it mean you can break into a store and steal one? Well, that's the analogy. He may have thought he won,
yeah,
but it did not entitle him to do illegal things to
like
procure
what?
The victory.
I mean, like, I got my own feelings, but you're on here. So, like, what illegal thing did he do per se?
Well, what the indictment alleges is that the phone calls were extortionist phone calls threatening that things had to be done, not because they were the right thing to do, but because he wanted them done. The maneuvers on the ballot workers, the maneuvers on the machines, the maneuvers with the slate of electors, that this is not Al Gore. This is not you doing the things that you can to zealously defend your own rights to the franchise. It was trying to manipulate the outcome through illegal actions.
By
the
his
conspiracy,
direction?
Either at his direction or as part of a group. That's the RICO part.
See, because here's the man got his recounts, right? He got his retally, he got his hand counts, he had his court cases. He was denied 60 times. It's time to let it go. Al Gore to this day still believes the election was stolen from, but for the good of the country, right? He exhausted all means.
That's not who this guy is. That's not who Trump is. And he has never been that guy. You know, unlike Rudy Giuliani, I've never known Trump to be any way but this way.
And you
sues
know him?
People. Of course I know him. And not just because of this silly notion of, like, you know, New York cabal or whatever it is. My father was the governor for 3 terms. My brother was the governor for 3 terms.
Well, it is a New York cabal because I know him because I was in New York in the media business realm of things. You meet the guy when you're in New York.
Very active. He's very active in that circle. And he is very solicitous of political people, either, you know, positively or negatively. He got a lot of what he got done through sweetheart deals with the government.
Yeah, that is the fact, man. City for sale. He got the biggest
guy fighting it
rebate
this
in
way.
history.
Yeah, this is par for the course with him.
Yeah, but look here, man. Every time the man gets indicted, he goes up in the polls. So you know for a fact
That
that
doesn't mean he didn't do it.
I
That
know.
means that there are people who believe that their guy is getting treated worse or is being exposed more than the other people because they don't like him because he's fighting for them.
But
And
isn't there truth to that?
look, is there truth to it? If you feel that that's what it is, it doesn't matter if it's true.
I
This
mean,
is politics.
from the get, they hounded the guy for 3 years with some bullshit collusion with the Russian security apparatus and Putin himself, like he was some Manchurian candidate. It all came out of Hillary Clinton, and so what regular people voted for, they squelched it. So when they start calling Trump racist and the powers that be, especially the security apparatus and the Democrats, won't let him work, people start to take that personally and they equate themselves with Trump. So if you hate Trump, you hate me. And if you hate me, I'm never getting off this block. I'm not going to see it reasonably because I wasn't treated reasonably. I don't think you'll ever move that 40%.
Maybe not. You don't need it to win either. And it's not new. I mean, the old paradigm of an election is a third hates you, a third loves you, and you fight for the middle third. The love-hate have grown a little bit, but the battle is still for the middle. The fastest growing population in our electorate is independents, people who don't want to be part of the parties. They're now a plurality of over 40% of the country because this game has gotten tiresome to a couple of generations of voters. But I would quibble with one thing. And by quibble, I mean I do not accept it at all. The idea that all of the investigating of Trump was done off of Oppo research paid for by Hillary Clinton is not true. The dossier, as they call it, was overvalued and under-scrutinized. Okay?
Yes.
That is not all that it was. Okay? Members of his campaign took meetings with people that you would tell me not to meet with. Okay?
Yeah, but let me jump in, though. Let me jump in. That's not Russian intelligence. Signals aren't being sent through a bank. The Hamilton Project, these Russian bots were actually just ordinary American citizens. No, they blew this thing. Big tech, big spy organizations, big political party. They did collude. Look, I didn't vote for Trump. I'm not going to vote for Trump. I didn't vote for Biden. I'm not going to vote for Biden, but I see it.
I don't see it the same way. I think the Democrats overplayed it. They overextended it. They should have never done the impeachment thing. Certainly not the first time because they were never going to remove him. And the idea that we needed to do it for posterity, I think, is bullshit. But that's an opinion.
It's a good one.
I criticized them for dancing about it instead of just doing it, not because I wanted them to impeach, but I don't think you play with a weapon like that. But Trump had guys around him doing shady things in ways that they shouldn't have been doing, that they knew they shouldn't have been doing. And they all had a nexus of connection to people who were known or stated Russian intel assets. You're going to draw scrutiny when you do that. And when you tell the government to fuck off, you're going to really draw scrutiny because they're human beings and human beings don't like being told that. So the idea that it was all the dossier is not true. The idea that it was overblown by the Democrats is true. But two things can be true at once. The idea that it was all nothing and it was a hoax is bullshit.
Well, I don't know about all nothing, but I'll tell you this. The guy did try, Trump specifically, to obstruct justice by encouraging his lawyer to lie.
Yeah.
That's obstruct. Okay, but that's born out
and by the way, what he did with the Zelensky call. Look, I've met with Zelensky, okay? I've met with his guys.
You dress like
I've
Zelensky.
talked to them about that. I've talked to them about this. There was nothing perfect about the phone call. They come from a culture of corruption. They know when somebody's putting the arm on them. And that's what was happening. And it was wrong for Trump to do that. And he knows it was wrong. And, so the idea that
Impeachable offense, though? Impeachable offense?
listen, I never said it was. I never said it was. I believe in high crimes and misdemeanor. I believe in the standard based on what we're seeing with these prosecutions. The reason the founding fathers picked something that's a little bit nebulous is because they were just trying to capture the feeling that they had of watching what happened in British society, of where you kept attacking your opponents and they didn't want it to happen here. And these prosecutions, whether it's looking at Biden and the money that came into the family, which I think is suspicious, and I think it's a mistake for Biden and the Democrats to be ignoring it, the stuff with Trump and all these things, I think you can't treat them like anybody else. Yes, no one is above the law, but not all people are equal. And there is prosecutorial discretion, and there is something to be thought about what's in the public interest and what isn't. And that doesn't mean that the rule of law doesn't hold or apply.
I think the best case
got
that
these
they
people
have
now
on
saying,
Trump
well, the
out of these four are the documents. For sure.
They got him on the document.
They got him on the
even
documents.
But even that, it's, well, why did he take him?
Because he wanted to look like a big shot. Hey, look, I'm still.
That's right.
He's playing president.
That's right.
He's
But
flying
not
them
for the
around like
reasons-
luggage.
But what about the documents?
But
they
not
found
for the
survived?
reasons
He
that
had
we
documents
don't
to
want
show.
people taking them, which is selling them to the Russians or selling them to the Chinese or using them to expose American assets or anything. We don't have any reason to believe any of that. And if anything, we have reason to believe that it's not what it was about. So is that the strongest stuff? No, I think the strongest stuff is what's in Fulton County because they were definitely trying to do things that they knew they shouldn't have been doing.
I mean, that sounds to me like the January 6th case, but I digress because let me encapsulate this. I held my tongue. If there was collusion with the Russians, I wanted it rooted out, and I think many of us did. In the end, what we found out that Hillary Clinton had more to do with election interference than Vladimir Putin. That's what I read in it. Now, having said that, I'm seeing the Biden smoke, bro. And it goes back to that phone call with Zelensky. I'm looking at photographs, flight logs, dinners, phone calls. This thing needs to be investigated. It really does. And I think if you don't believe that, you're a dope, you're a partisan, or you're the problem. Do you agree that thing needs to be vigorously examined?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's why David Weiss is now a special prosecutor. And people say, well, it can't be him. It's got to be someone new because he already botched it. I think that is naive. And unless they give it to somebody who's
I'm kind of naive because I kind of believe that. Why do you say that? He had 5 years.
Because I think that's the reason. I think it takes time. And I don't think it's as clear as you think it is. And
no, I don't think it's clear, bro. I don't. I know it's clear to me Hunter Biden broke the law, right? He didn't register as a foreign agent. He didn't pay his taxes, smoking crack and carrying pistols, driving hundreds. Yeah, that dude totally broke the law. And that dude should go to prison. But the connection to Biden, I'm starting to see one that I don't like. And I don't think as Americans, like I'm listening to MSNBC, Jesus Christ, pull the cork on that thing. But I hear them and like, no big deal. This is not what I want as an independent, right, out of my government.
Well, look, I'll tell you what, I don't want it out of the government. Okay? I really believe we need a new mechanism. Do I think it should be investigated? Of course. I've been doing it on my show. I have an open invitation to Cuomo
8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Chris Cuomo News Nation. Go ahead, it's a plug for you.
To bring whatever they want onto the show. I'll give them the whole hour. And let's lay out what they know and how they know it. I have no problem with that. I welcome it. I think it's important. I just believe that if you want any integrity to any of these questions, which I do believe are all a distraction from bigger concerns for Americans, I would rather them be fighting about how we're going to have, we're not going to have a shortfall of 700,000 workers in the IT space for the chip making factory that they're building right now. I would rather the two sides be fighting over that than this stuff. But if you want to do two things at once, which they've never shown they can, but if you want to pretend they can, it has to be Not an independent counsel, not that deal. The only thing we've seen work that has the trust of the American people is the 9/11 Commission. You got to get people who are not in office, who are respected on both sides, to take a look at it and then tell you what they think it is. I think that's what you have to do with big shots, and then let the people decide in an election.
No one's calling me. No one's calling me. I'm fair.
I would have no problem with you being on the commission.
All right, man. Well, I could be here all day. You said you got about 25 minutes for us. And anything else you want to say here? Any words of uplift, inspiration?
I still feel like you guys were coming after me at the beginning of this interview. That's how sensitive I am.
Fuck, dude, really?
Jesus Christ, no.
Yeah.
No. Chris doesn't do media.
Now she's taking the Lord's name in vain. I don't know what's wrong.
No, I would never do that. So
Did you really?
Don't be sensitive. That was not the case. I apologize if that's how you took
Don't
it,
be
but that was
sensitive.
No, I'm just not
Have
here.
you Googled me?
And that's
lately?
not an apology. That's not an apology. I
Listen,
apologize if that's how you took it.
Hold on, let me say this. If we were coming after you, or if I was coming at you, know it. That was not the case. So
Let me tell you, you'd know it too.
and okay, then we just go head to head. So that's fine. We can do that. But no,
That's
that was
my
not the
world,
case.
my friend.
All right, but that's
I
not
see
my world.
confrontation the way most people see coffee.
I like conversation, and I do it respectfully. So I would never do that. I would never have somebody on this show, on Charlie's platform, and attack them. So no, that was not the case.
Yeah,
so
I'll do that.
Yeah, I don't. That's not me. So I wouldn't do that anyway.
Take Charlie too. I'll take the both of you. You don't
Okay.
scare me.
Chris, how's your arbitration going with CNN? Did you get your millions yet?
Lousy. We're fighting over the arbitrator. My guys believe that there's a conflict that worries them about what would happen if we go forward. It's got to be decided by a state court, and it's a protracted process. I talk to Charlie all the time. He's a mentor to mine and to me and a friend. I don't talk about it a lot because I don't want to attack or allow it to be twisted by media that I'm attacking CNN. I love CNN. I think they're an amazing organization. I got a lot of friends that are still there, and it hurts that my relationships with them have been fractured by this. But my bosses were wrong to fire me for the reasons that they presented. I never lied about a fucking thing to anybody about helping my brother, and I never did anything to lie about. I didn't go after his accusers. The people who are doing his defense work will tell anybody that. I wasn't part of what they were doing. I was helping my brother. I was listening to what their suggestions were. I was weighing in where I thought I could. All the things that reasonable people would assume I was doing, which I admitted on television. So I never lied. There were no secrets.
No, I told you.
You can say you don't like that I helped my brother.
I'm gonna just.
You can say I shouldn't have been allowed to be.
I
at
told you
CNN
over that
while you
drink,
did
like anybody would do that with their sibling, but you did it on a telephone with a bunch of scummy sharks. That's what you did. That's what you're guilty of.
Look, they're not the ones who took me down. Okay,
That's true. That's
the
it.
people who took me down were the people I trusted the most. I knew the media was pissed off at me for having my brother on the show during the pandemic. I know. I get it. I get what the conflict was. I get why it bothered them. I get why the Love Gov stuff and the Brothers Cuomo stuff made them jealous and upset. I get it. I just never thought that Andrew was going to get in that kind of trouble so that they would have that kind of ammunition to use against me to say he's a bad guy because he's helping a bad guy. I just didn't see it coming because I didn't see that coming to my brother. And I didn't see the people I trusted the most deciding to save themselves by saying that I lied to them. It doesn't even make sense. What did I lie about? Oh, well, he was a lot more involved. Then what? Then listening to my brother's advisors and giving my advice? That's what I did. Oh, yeah, but you went after his accusers and you worked the media. The fuck I did. Where is the media that I worked for my brother? You don't think they would stand up and say, he called me, he asked me to do him a favor? Why? Because they protect me? Because they're my friends? Come on.
How does
He
that
went
make you
after the
feel?
accusers. Here's how it makes me feel. Sad. Because look, the first word for me to describe myself is easy. Flawed. I make mistakes all the time. I do things that are wrong all the time. I try to make up for them. I try to make amends. I try to be better. It's not easy. It may even be harder for me than it is for a lot of people. I don't know. But I didn't do these things. If you want to say I shouldn't have been allowed, my boss was wrong, okay, I accept all that. But my boss knew what I was doing. He was fine with it. The ownership knew what I was doing. I said it on TV. I talked about it all the time. I never covered my brother. The audience never had a problem with it. I've never had a regular person who's not in the media come up to me and say, boy, I got to tell you, I was really shocked that you were helping your brother and that you were listening to his advisors and that, you were giving your feedback on what he was doing. Oh, and by the way, that feedback was largely don't attack your accusers, get out in front of this, tell the truth, and tell it to anybody who's asking you anything. And I said that about the nursing home scandal also. And everybody will acknowledge that.
Now, why do you think your brother got pilloried for the nursing home cover up, whatever you want to call it, and our governor Whitmer
several reasons
got away with
several
it?
reasons
Sexism?
Several reasons. I don't know that she got away with anything because I don't know the situation as well. But I'll tell you why. One, people died. People died that have families. Okay. Two, the media ran with one side of the story. Three, Andrew and his people did not do a good enough job early enough explaining the situation and what the context was for the decisions that they made. Now, I know the story because I've heard it from him, but it's not my job to argue his case. That was his job. And there's an immutable law in politics that Joe Biden is breaking right now. If you don't drive the narrative in a situation that concerns you, somebody else will tell your story and you will not like how it ends. Biden is doing that with the financial questions. I would suggest that my brother did that with the nursing homes, where he didn't believe the allegations because he knew more, so he let it go. And you can't do that in politics. You just can't do it. And I get why people are told, let it go. You don't want to feed it. You don't want to feed it. Yeah, but sometimes that's the wrong call. And it's not for me to judge. I'm obviously too close to it, but I get why people are upset. I get why they think that their relatives died and they didn't have to. And the other reasons are at play as well. But it's my brother's case to make. And if he wants to be back in politics again, he's going to have to deal with that to the extent that he thinks it's relevant to whatever he wants to achieve. And I'll watch along with everybody else. And guess what else I'll do? I'll give him advice because he's my brother. And that will never change and nothing will ever come before it. But that doesn't mean I compromised how I do my job. Not only did I not cover my brother, I never lied to anybody about the fact that I was helping him. And that matters to me because right now, Charlie, people can describe me this way. Chris Cuomo, who was fired from CNN, which is true. And that's, I got to live with that, for lying about the extent to helping his brother and attacking his accusers. No. That's what's worth all this money to me. I don't want a big paycheck. That's not what this is about, okay? It's about an understanding that you don't have to like what I did. You don't have to like that sucker let me do it. You don't have to like any of it. But I didn't lie and create a situation where I was helping my brother and not being transparent about it. It's not true.
Now, tell me about your brother.
Everybody knew, Charlie. You knew. Everybody knew that I was helping my brother.
I could smell that from 600 miles away, dude. Way out here in the sticks.
So it just makes me sad because I'm not perfect. I screw things up just like anybody else, maybe even more so. But I didn't do this. And it matters to me. And I know people tell me all the time, don't worry about it. Let it go. Forget what they say. The media is the hate parade. But I'm in the media and they get to describe me that way. And I don't like it. It's bad for my professionalism. It's bad for my family. It's bad for my kids. And, if I do something wrong, I own it. And I try to fix it if I can. But I'm like haunted by this. That's why I got to keep fighting it. And I'm the only guy playing with my own.
You're haunted by what?
He said he's human. I mean, he's human. He has,
no,
he has a right to be.
This is the dude. This the dude that's in your living room in a 60-inch screen. Like he's not supposed to be haunted by anything. He made it.
He's human. Everybody is. It's something.
But it's rare that you get to hear that anybody's human.
Exactly.
Is the point.
People don't want to admit it.
He's human.
Exactly.
Look, Charlie, we're all the same, especially in this job.
Oh, I
it's
know.
Why
no, I never did anything as bad as you.
What I'm saying is,
Charlie,
we're all relying on what we understand about flaws and frailty to relate to people who are going through things and tell their stories. and drive their interests. It's part of what makes you more effective at this. And it's not like I have some perfect persona that I'm trying to protect. That's not what it is. It's just this is not true, and they know it's not true. But they also know that they got money and the media on their side, and they can let it go on forever. I'm the only one playing with my own money.
Speaking of
And
which,
it's really
how you doing for money?
I'm doing fine. Not doing how I was before. I mean, this hurt me getting thrown off CNN. I'm making less than half what I was making. But look, that's okay. I'm not complaining about that. But I lost a platform. I lost a persona. I lost a relevance. I lost an ability to be involved in the public dialogue at scale that now at News Nation we're trying to build. And I'm very excited about that, and I'm happy to be part of it. But the idea that I wasn't damaged by what happened at CNN is demonstrably false. And I think people get that because they tell me all the time they're sorry about what happened. I'm sorry too. It's just I have to live with it in a way that they don't. And again, I'm not attacking CNN. I love CNN. I'm not attacking my colleagues. I care about them. I respect them. I want them to do well. I don't even attack the guy who fired me. Jeff Zucker is the best TV mind I've ever worked with, and he gave me a phenomenal opportunity that allowed me to blossom and be relevant in a way I never would.
I'm going to tell you about Jeff Zucker. The guy has a great mind for TV because everything he takes goes to the bottom. He wrecks everything he touches.
But so why did he?
I don't know how this guy's
it?
working in TV, man. I'm sorry, bro.
Listen, he didn't wreck CNN.
Why did they do it then,
He didn't
Chris?
wreck CNN. Huh?
Then why? Why do you think they fired you? Like, what do you believe?
They fired me because I became a huge liability to the brand.
It went like this. Let me do this. It went like this because if you remember during COVID and everything, Trump and Hillary and Russia collusion, everything became so toxic that everybody, like, you hate Tucker Carlson, you hate Chris Cuomo, you hate Don Lemon, you hate Sean Hannity, Rachel Matt, you go on and on, right? Eventually, they're coming for you.
Exactly.
Eventually, they're coming. So all the feelings he says he has, I feel them, but I don't feel at a loss. I feel at peace because I'm walking before they can pull that shit on me.
Yeah, and I don't think you should believe that change undermined your relevance. I mean, you have a different platform. You may have a different.
Have you seen the ratings? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I have, but I watched the show. And I mean, but I don't.
It's a good show.
I don't think that. I mean, I think part of what you embrace and present also helps to validate or reaffirm your persona. And when you say that it's compromised your relevance, it's compromised. I think you're underselling who you're trying to remain or who you are. I'd stop saying that if I were you. That's my free advice.
I appreciate the advice, and you're not wrong. But I'll tell you what, Karen, when 6 out of 10 of the people who say hello to you on the street say, I wish you were back on TV. I miss you when you were on.
But hold on. Charlie
I've
is the
been on
same
TV
way.
for
They ask all the time, where's Charlie LeDuff? What happened to him? Where did he go? So, but it's a different platform. And I had my own set of being penalized for standing up for what I believed in. I know what that's like. You become victimized by a very system that you are a part of. But different doesn't always have to be worse. I mean, I know, it's not CNN and that's what we associate, but this could actually turn out to be better. Don't let it compromise who you are. And people like you and watch you for who you are and what you bring to the table. Don't undermine that simply because you have a different platform.
She's saying, stop whining, man. Move on.
I didn't say that.
I'm really not.
I didn't
really
say you were whining. Stop listening to Charlie. I didn't say you were whining.
I'm not whining.
We both from Queens, man.
I understand.
Charlie's a punk. And when he's in person, he's more polite. Right now.
No, he's not.
He's feeling it because he's over there. But when we're like drink to drink, he's plenty nice.
Well,
okay,
listen,
he knows
I have this
that one of us
conversation
is
with
eating
Charlie.
and the other one's food. He's the sandwich.
I have this conversation with Charlie about because he's not on Fox 2. People are still asking about where he is. They still want to touch him and hear from him. We just had a very candid come to Jesus conversation the other day. And this was in a different context, the same thing. You're still who you are.
Listen, I appreciate that, and I believe it, and I trust it. I'm just saying, it's not a single factor analysis. That's all. And I'm not saying that I'm not happy to be where I am. I've never built
Then stop
anything before the way
underselling
I am now.
Then stop underselling it.
Well, I'm not underselling News Nation. I believe in News Nation. I actually believe News Nation is more of a movement than a media company. I'm a
Movement?
big fan of what they're. Yeah, because
movement?
they are trying.
Because they're doing
Let me
things
explain.
differently. I'll give you that, Chris. I mean, your show is far different than what it was on CNN.
Chris's show.
Yeah, Chris's show. Well, News Nation too. It tries
Chris's
to be
show.
centrist. They have independent people throughout the country breaking stories.
Look,
I'm just saying it's
I know,
better.
Look, let me just. I'm gonna tell him, Chris. I said this is the best thing to ever happen to you because now you get to be you, and you don't got to kiss Don Lemon's ass as you're signing off, right? But when Chris Cuomo is doing Chris Cuomo, the show's really interesting. Points of view are getting heard. The guests are interesting, and the guy. I've sat on a set many times with him, and he doesn't use a teleprompter. He doesn't. So
Can't read.
that's why he went to Fordham. Okay, listen, man.
Listen, I appreciate the time with you. I appreciate your advice. I appreciate you coming on my show the way you do, Charlie, which I love. And I appreciate you having me on yours and being real with me. And look, I don't want people to take it the wrong way. Everybody's into expressing gratitude in their attitude and all that bullshit. What I get it and I feel it. I know I'm blessed. I know I have all the things that matter most in ways that many don't. But all pain is personal and all situations require context. And my life changed a lot of ways that were negative. And by the way, for my family too. And it was not righteous. It was not Pono, as the Hawaii governor said the other day about what's happening with the people trying to come in to steal and undersell people's property in Maui. It wasn't right, and I got to fight it. I don't know how, I don't know how it comes out. It doesn't really matter to me. What matters to me is fighting it. But it's not because I think that everything's over or anything like that. I'm doing the job because I think I can make a difference. I think I can help, and that's the reason I've always done it.
Now, last question here. Like you were working the fish scales today. If you could just show me with your hands how big the biggest fish was today.
I can't. It's too big.
Yeah, go ahead, show me.
This is an offshore tournament. They're catching tuna that are 200. So they're catching fish.
Go ahead, show me.
On the small size that are your size.
Show me. Like this.
I'll show you, Charlie. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put you in the mouth of one of them. How about that?
Because I'm trying to get a screenshot where he goes like this, and Cuomo goes, "It was that big." That's the headline.
Yeah, I got it. What do you think?
Fucking
what do you
guy.
think, Charlie?
Where'd you grow up, man? Where'd you grow up? Corona Park. Where'd you grow up?
Holliswood, Queens.
Holliswood, right? Astoria, Holliswood. Just getting the thing.
And then I went to Albany.
All right, brother.
Listen, Charlie, I look forward to talking to you again soon and having you on the show. Karen, thank you very much for the honesty and the candor and the insight. I appreciate it, and I benefit from it.
Always.
Thanks for taking time, brother.
All right,
Chris
be
Cuomo,
well.
News Nation, 8 o'clock.
But at least he was honest. And that's the thing, though, Charlie. People don't understand, even though when people are in the public eye. But he pretty much laid out his situation in the beginning when he was talking about Trump. Everybody's out to get everybody else at somebody else's expense. Everything is divisive. And he just happened to be a casualty of that.
That's life on the high wire.
It is. I mean, you can't, it's a double-edged sword.
No.
I mean, it is.
Yeah, no. Word from our sponsors.
We have sponsors?
Not after that.
I'm just kidding.
Well, as you can see, she's very torn up here at the American legendary Coney Island, where they were broke into this weekend, and apparently the thief was hungry, thirsty, and likes to collect empty registers. This has been James Harvey, weatherman on the streets, bringing you the breaking news. Must be some damn good cheesecake. Think I'm gonna have to try a piece of that before I leave.
There's one piece left. They've been flying off the shelf since, that guy tasted it.
Jesus Christ, this cheesecake is so good, it's criminal. I understand why you don't get for the cheesecake.
American Coney Island, where the cheesecake is so good, it's criminal.
I keep telling them here at American Coney Island they ought to do a drive-through system. And when you do your drive-through system, you call XG Service Group. They do drive-through systems, the boards, Wi-Fi for homes and business, cameras, design installation, voice over internet, total wireless camera systems designed for your home and your business. The Supernova of customer service. Call Matt Yaskovitz at 734-245-4100. Mention, there's another slash. I'm not doing it. Just call them up, man.
Wait a minute, what is after the slash?
Just
Charlie?
I don't know what it is. Just call them.
Mark, we need a slash.
Just
We do need a slash.
734-245-4100. And next Evo, listen, if you're feeling stressed, you're feeling anxious, you're having trouble sleeping, you don't want to do heavy pharmaceuticals, go the natural way with the CBD, the oils, right? No matter what, no matter where summer takes you, even though it's getting darker and colder, and that gives you stress. Try their stress or sleep complex. Stay well this summer with smarter CBD from Next Evo Naturals. Go to nextevo.com/NOBS to get a 25% off and a free bottle of premium pure CBD. That's nextevo.com/NOBS. And ADR, experienced having overseen a $250 million in private and public construction projects, reduce costs and increase your bottom line. Get somebody to deal with City Hall for you. They're holding up the permits. Get them wedged loose. They know what they're doing. ADR, smart. Call Barry Ellen Tuck, 248-318-9424 for a consultation. Get the job done right on time and on budget. ADR. / bricklayers. Look, people are leaving the governor with the horse shit, with the work numbers and the unemployment. It's a mess here. You hurt. You hurt. If you think Andrew Cuomo was a mess, Gretchen Whitmer's a mess, but the only one that's even telling it to you is / No BS News Hour.
I'm writing this number down.
Okay, Leah. Bricklayers and allied craft workers letting you know that there are free job training opportunities with placement starting at $26 an hour plus benefits. We're talking masonry, tile, marble, terrazzo, caulking, concrete. Make anywhere between 26 and 37 plus benefits like Blue Cross Blue Shield. 2 pensions, an annuity, a free year-round training workshops, the certifications, referral and signing bonuses go up to $2,000. Bricklayers.org. Learn more about what Local 2 has to offer. Take the next step of securing a good paying future.
Oh, there's no number?
Today. Didn't I give the website? Bricklayers.org.
Oh, I thought there was a phone number. Okay.
No,
Okay, I'm sorry. Bricklayers.org.
Bricklayers.org. My nephew called.
Did he?
Good.
Mm-hmm, sure did.
Well, I have a different interest, but I am going to call. I'm going to reach out to them because I really think, never mind, you don't want
That's
to know.
quite cryptic.
Well, no, I mean, because usually like at dental schools, they give people on the job training. And
That's
so
what
if they
that
can
is.
and so if I can hire them to do some brick work, that's what I'm going to look to do.
I don't think they're going to do that.
You don't know?
Because the trainee doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah, not then, but there may be, Charlie.
What you would do is you call the bricklayers
Okay, we'll figure it out. Don't worry
basically
about
call a contractor and say I want some union help. And
Yeah,
tell the
but
union
that's-
help that I want apprentices on the job. That's how it works.
it. Is it?
Yeah, just save you that headache.
Well, thank you, Charlie.
You're welcome. Want to know what else a headache? This fucking administration in this city.
You're right.
Bricks don't get done. Drug houses don't get done. Police vehicles don't get fixed. Ambulances are a wreck. You want to be the governor. You want to uncork my property tax. Okay, don't believe me? Nobody else wants to do it? / NoBSNewsHour.com. Right? You can, if you're listening, you can go to Twitter, YouTube, No BS News Hour, right? Look it up. These are Byron's terrific. This is what your city looks like. This dope house, the school year's now, and the dope house is still up. Wait, I do this in the piece. Why don't we just roll it?
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Well, kids, it's school time. Back to school. And if you're at Pulaski K through 8, don't forget, still got your drug house owned by the city.
We lived in this house, me and my wife, when we first got together. We tried to get it to the land bank. The land bank couldn't get the clear title, so they asked us to leave. True story.
Wow. So now it's across from a school.
This is an actual academy.
Okay.
So it is something that's supposed to be of higher and smarter learning for the city of Detroit and its residents who have children. Not just students, but the children. We got to love our city. If we don't love our city and promote our city, how are we going to have a better educated class of people?
That raggedy house shouldn't be this close to no school.
You know who owns this raggedy house? The city.
The city, right.
Yeah. Now, the junkies from Macomb County come in here and shoot up. The needles are everywhere. Right. The garage is open. My friend Nicole Curtis, you know her from the home improvement shows and cable TV. She asked me to take a look. She's trying to help get it down. But they can't clear the title. They want to resell this. It's got black mold, no wiring, leaking roof. Everybody in the neighborhood knows it. Nobody knows why. This is still fucking here. Let's do math, kids. Something doesn't add up.
Please, land bank, fix this for the kids.
They did come mow it, thank you very much. But you forgot to take the dead tree down. Hey, kids, when the wind blows, don't get off the bus right there. You'll die. Right. Look, and then, we boarded it up with plexiglass. Okay, good. Now the kids can see all the shit inside. Look at that. It's structurally sound. The roof's caving in. You might remember our friend, the neighbor Alvin. If you could talk to the mayor about having a little attention in your neighborhood, what would you tell him?
I tell him you need to clean up this area. Get the drugs out. The houses on the corner is bad.
Well, Alvin warned you. He's moving. Okay, kids. If you do need some help, something happens here, don't bother waiting for the police, because they got 200 broken down squad cars.
I didn't know that.
And kids, if you need a fire truck, don't hold your breath. They're sitting on the toilet drying out because the city hasn't sent toilet paper to the firehouses for 2 months.
I didn't know that.
Brought your boy some toilet paper since...
Appreciate it.
Not only does the fire department not have toilet paper, we don't got ambulances. But I found those too. They're here at the apparatus house, all broken down. Look at all those.
That's crazy.
And kids, if you're going to take the city bus to school, give yourself a little extra time. Because the mayor keeps cutting the budget, adjusted for inflation. And now the buses are running at 70% of what they were before COVID. This isn't working. You know the buses are running at 70% of their capacity since before COVID?
I didn't know that either.
Well, now you do. No bullshit news hour. Fix it!
Right.
You gotta laugh.
Yeah, that's the new Detroit that we have.
Looks a lot like the old Detroit.
It actually looks worse, if you ask me. I think things have gotten worse.
I just know when you promise a whole lot of shit and it doesn't happen, I'm a whole lot more steamed, I'll tell you that.
And you should be, Charlie. And the bad part about it is that just them making a statement that things are better and the grass is greener and the water is colder doesn't make it so.
The grass is longer!
Yeah, it is longer.
And it's got a bunch of needles
and it's
in it.
I was going to say, it's full of debris.
Oh, you got a war, man. Come on. And that property tax, well, we'll bring it. Hey, listen. I've got your documents, your blue papers. They're going to try to uncork all of our property taxes so Duggan can look good to Mrs. Jones. Well, giving her $200, that's going to disappear in a couple of years, and he's going to hook all the skyscrapers on her up with millions, just like the auto reform.
That's what I was going to say. That sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
Gave you $400 and turned around and raised your car insurance.
We'll see. We'll see if that goes through.
The okey doke.
That's it. That's the okey doke. Okey doke. That's the show. Thank you. We'll see you next week. Thanks, Chris Cuomo. Feel better, honey.